There's many different ways you can start a business, and one of those ways is as an individual. As an individual, it's commonly called a sole trader, and so sometimes people actually just call it an ABN. So what that means is that you as an individual are operating a business. So Andrew Jeffers, if I wanted to start a company called Andrew Jeffers Accounting, I can just go and start that and I can get an Australian business number. But if I wanted to start Jeffers Accounting, or let's say city-based accounting, and I wanted to do it as a sole trader, I'd have to be Andrew Jeffers trading as city-based accountancy. One of the other things about individuals is that if you do something wrong, you're personally liable, which means that all your personal assets and everything you have to do will come crashing down. It also means that any income that you make comes through you as an individual. So you're actually a legal entity in yourself. And as a sole trader, you bear full risk for everything, and you actually run that as yourself, as the business. What I say to a lot of people in business before you get started, do a bit of a risk assessment. Starting a business as an individual is the cheapest way that you can do it. So tax returns for an individual business are probably between, I don't know, $300 and $1,000. To set up an individual business is going to cost you maybe $50. You go and get a business name registered. So it's pretty cheap, and it's also very uncomplicated. Also, having a business as a sole trader, you actually don't have to pay super. Now, I don't actually think that's a good thing, right? Because I think everybody should be saving some super. But there are a few different concessions. Now, so some of the pluses are it's a lot cheaper, it's a lot easier, and your ongoing costs on a yearly basis are going to be a lot cheaper. Really bad downsides are if you're doing something that's quite risky, like let's say a mechanic. Okay, something could happen to some machinery of a client. Even if you're an accountant, you could end up screwing up somebody's tax returns and paying some money. Doctors, lawyers, plumbers, all of these sort of guys. If you do something wrong, you need to have insurances to cover for the work that you've done. And if you don't have those insurances in place, or somebody slips over, let's say while you're doing some work, you personally become liable for all the costs associated with the business. So that's pretty much the downside. Now, one thing you really have to remember too is if you as an individual go bankrupt, that's on your record for life as you as an individual. Whereas we'll discuss companies and partnerships a bit later, but as an individual, you go bankrupt, it's on your history forever. Look, there are a lot of people, particularly when you're starting out in business, you don't want to, because the prices to set up a company or a trust are, in the thousands of dollars. So, look, somebody who's a hairdresser, they go and, they can, what's the opportunity they can really, do some damage to the client? They get some insurance, so if they, clip the ear, God forsake, they're going to cut the ear off. But if they clip the ear, or they, put the wrong sort of style in their hair, at least they can get some insurance to cover it off. So generally an uncomplex business, and when people are really starting out. But then also it goes to, I say to clients, where are we going in the future? Let's plan for the future before we actually have a look at how we set up the business to start with. But simplest, easiest, quickest way to get going at the cheapest cost to test the water. Look, I've got a lot of clients who try to sell stuff on the internet. They don't know whether it's going to work or not, so they may as well just try it as an individual. There's not a lot of risk associated there. If they send a product out and it doesn't work, send another product or give a refund.